I want to talk to you about the most important things to get right about a Google Ads campaign if that's one of the strategies you intend to leverage to grow your Bootstrapped SaaS. Previously, I created content about managing what I consider to be the three most effective stages of growth for a Bootstrapped SaaS, and Google Ads is a key one of those. So, if this is an area that you intend to leverage, I want to make sure you know how to set your campaign up correctly as best as possible for success when it comes to growth for this stage. Because it is an effective strategy, I leverage extensively myself for my SaaS products and that I recommend to my coaching clients as well also. So it'd be important for you to get it right because you may leverage it for quite a while. Number one, and most importantly, is we need to design the campaign around what's most important so that Google can focus on what it is you're trying to achieve. What I mean by that is there's different ways that you can tell Google when you're setting up your ad campaign what is most important to track. Now, most commonly, people are using things like clicks. If you're just trying to drive traffic to a website or something like that, I get it. And we might even use that when starting out to try to grow your SaaS because Google Ads campaign needs a significant amount of data in order to be able to tell you what's working, where people are coming from, what they're searching for, all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, after we begin by optimizing for clicks, we want to quickly get to what's referred to as conversions. And this is what you really care about or should care about. When I say conversions, what I mean are people signing up to use your product, and more importantly, people that are paying to use your product, right? Because we're trying to turn these SaaS products into businesses. So to reiterate, it is probably clicks in the beginning. That may be how you optimize in order to get enough data. And then quickly, we're going to convert that to conversions, which is more important because that's what you really care about, right? Who's signing up for your product and who is paying for it. Right? And number two, it's making sure Google knows who to show your ad to. And that is done in the form of keywords. Keywords are basically the words or the phrases that your prospective customers that are looking for that solution to the problem they have, which is your SaaS product, are searching for when they're punching something into Google. So the keywords are what you're going to tell the campaign for what to show your ad for when people are searching for that. Now, that one's probably pretty intuitive. The one that may be a little bit less intuitive or counterintuitive is the negative keyword. Negative keywords are it's your ability to control what Google is not showing your ad for when people search for something else. For example, if you are selling a product to professionals that have budget or work for companies or what have you, and they can put that budget towards solving their problem, sounds pretty ideal for you, right? Because we want to charge for our SaaS products. That makes sense to target that crowd. But if you're also showing up for students that are searching for similar keywords or something like that, and they're just looking for a free version of that, and you don't offer that, or they're unlikely to convert to paid customers at some point, you're probably not going to want to advertise to them. So you need to leverage the negative keyword, which tells Google, here's where you shouldn't show my product versus the keywords, which is where they should. Third, and probably the most popular one when it comes to setting up a Google Ads campaign, and that's what to measure, right? The metrics, your dashboards. And this is where tech folks like me, we love to geek out, right? But I want you to focus here as much as possible because there's a million things that we can measure, but they're not all equally relevant. And there's really only a couple different elements that I want you to pay close attention to because that's enough for now in order to know whether or not your ads campaign is working. And those are probably in order impressions, obviously, and that is folks who are seeing your ad, clicks, which pretty self-explanatory. Those are people that are clicking on the ad and going to where you want them to, which is ideally your landing page. And then there's two other metrics or ratios that I believe are important for you to focus on as well too. It's your click-through rate, and that essentially is your ratio of the previous two. So how many people clicked versus how many people saw it, and your conversions. Again, that was the first point that I made, and that's where it's most important to optimize because that's what we really want in the end. And you can even tell Google like how much a conversion is worth and all that kind of good stuff so that it better understands even the economics at a unit level, which can help you figure out how to scale that campaign. So focus on just those four initially, and trust me, there are plenty of ways we can go much deeper as your campaign gains quite a bit more history. But just focus on those for now because those I believe are the most important to have a successfully managed campaign and to know whether or not it's working. Okay, so to recap this content, what do you need to do as a Bootstrap SaaS founder to ensure that you're managing a successful Google Ads campaign? First and foremost, it's making sure we're tracking the right things. And in the beginning, that's probably going to be clicks so that you can get enough data into the campaign. But then quickly, we're going to want to convert that to conversions, which are likely signups and people paying to access your SaaS product. And there's more that can go into that technically, but I'll create more content about that in the future. Secondly, is we want to make sure we get our keywords right. So you can leverage AI for this to help you. It can be very, very helpful, but make sure that you are targeting the right keywords for what your prospects are ideally looking for. That makes sure you show up with the right audience and the right search intent. But more importantly, sometimes even than that is managing your negative keywords. And that's who's ultimately searching for or seeing your ads, but really shouldn't be. That happens a lot as we're trying to figure out what the right balance here is between keywords and negative keywords. So you need to stay on top of that also. And that is an ongoing thing you need to continue to manage. And then finally, metrics. This is a place where you can get lost. Don't just focus on these and you'll be fine. I promise you, at least in the beginning. We can go much further, but just start here for now. Impressions, who's seeing your ad, clicks, who's deciding to click on your ad and take action from it, and then a couple of metrics. Click-through rate, which is that ratio of clicks to impressions, and conversions, which is ultimately, in my opinion, the most important thing. And the better we set that up for your ad campaign, the better Google knows how to optimize it further for what you really want. Okay, so how do you apply what I shared in this content? Well, first and foremost, if you already have an ad campaign, use these guidelines to further optimize it. If you're doing anything else rather than what I mentioned in this content, I would probably pause on that and I would focus on these until you feel like you've gotten them right. And we feel like the performance of your campaign is at a level that is at least profitable for growing your SaaS product list of clients and customers. Beyond that, if you haven't set up a Google Ads campaign yet, use these guidelines to kind of start here from the beginning. I believe these are the most important foundational elements in order to get this stuff right, and then you can always build on it later from there. But if you focus on just these that I mentioned in this content, I think you will have a largely successful Google Ads campaign, assuming everything else is in the right spot. And if you're having other issues, I can help you there as well too. Reach out to me at bootstrappersparadise.com to find out more about how I can help. And if you got value out of this content, please like, subscribe, and or leave a comment. That really helps me figure out how to make the content better for you.